The college football experience coaching carousel episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET's now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET is what you need to win. Sign up today. Bet $100. Get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/wynnbet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. So grab that thing and remember, folks, to let it ride.
This is Jerry Glanville, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother.
Yes. Welcome to the college football experience coaching carousel episode. Just shit is happening all across the sport. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
I don't have any stress. All right. Maybe Auburn's athletic director might have a little bit of stress, but we'll be talking about it, folks. I am joined by, couldn't be in studio. He was on a covert mission to, I got a feeling he's somewhere at a nightclub with that backdrop trying to get Paul Johnson, or maybe you're hanging out with Hugh Freeze. I don't know.
That's right. Me and Hughes, there's a little dancer behind me here.
Yeah, exactly. Where's the pole? Play the music. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, oiling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh!
Yeah, let's go. The shit is happening all across the sport. We talk college football year round here. All right? End of the regular season. No big deal. Keep it going.
Warming up.
12 months.
Right.
We got a lot to talk about. I see the chat moving along. Shout out to 3802 and Brian Sanders saying, save me from this Monday Night Football misery. You're damn right. Playing it at the fucking roller rink. All right. And GBO Farms. And we have a lot of talk. I guess we'll start with the biggest news since we last recorded on Saturday.
Jeff Traylor hired by Auburn?
No, we thought that was the thing. Shout out to Twitter. Twitter is such a shit show.
Had me going for sure.
So, I was like, wow. Cool. I thought, I understood the drama potentially with whiffing on Kiffin. I like that.
I like that.
On Kiffin. That should be a t-shirt.
See what they did there. Yeah.
And then, Hugh Strip Club Freeze. I thought I could see them saying, okay, maybe we can't get this guy, and then them having to go somewhere. But I love this tweet. So today, Auburn hires Hugh Strip Club Freeze, and one of the better tweets that I saw, let me pull this up. Auburn hired a former Arkansas State coach, fired him, replaced him with the former Arkansas State head football coach, fired him, and then replaced him with the former Arkansas State football head coach. That's fucking hilarious. Patty C.
It's funny because I was just talking to Wolf of Oaklawn on DM, and I was asking him who Arkansas's main rival is in his opinion. He was like, Auburn. They steal all the coaches from the state of Arkansas. It's just what they do.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, because where if you asked an Auburn fan that question though, Arkansas would probably be pretty down the ranks, right?
Yeah, they just for whatever reason have been able to kind of bully them and take their coaches a little bit. But I mean, especially Malzahn. That's a big one. That was going to be an Arkansas hero, but got away. Went to Auburn.
Dude, what do you think? Hugh Freeze, head coach of Liberty. I mean, head coach of Auburn from Liberty. Yeah.
Great hire. We've been saying it all along. I mean, the guy's got X's and O's skills, and that's kind of what you need at Auburn. I don't think he's a liability at any place except for, his phone lines potentially. But at Auburn, I think that flies. So
yeah, exactly. They got Bruce Pearl on the hardwood too. All right.
There you go. Was it Wolken or someone? I think it was Wolken. Said, they shouldn't be surprised they're going after Freeze since they have Pearl. And then Pearl responded to him and was like, "So I take it you don't like me?" Freaking great.
Wasn't Pearl's Pearl's thing was a little ridiculous. I mean, he's got some used cars. I'm sure he's dropped bags before, but I think the thing he got in trouble for was having like a barbecue with all of his team there.
Yeah, I don't.
He paid for the fucking meat. Dude. Yeah, I think he's probably a good dude. But I mean, he's got he's definitely a car salesman in him.
Yeah, almost all high-level college basketball coaches do, though. But he's got an extra element. That's true.
Okay, so we got whiffing on Kiffin, and they go into strip club Freeze, which we think is a good hire for Auburn. I agree. I think it'll work out there as long as for a few years, and then they'll fire him.
I don't know if he's going to win a national championship, but I think he's got the same kind of formula as Malzahn. A little more legit, a little less gimmick, a little more just straight good play calling.
The problem is they're unrealistic, though, dude. And before when he was in the SEC West, it wasn't. I mean, I guess you could say, well, I still think Brian Kelly's a much better coach than Orgeron or Les Miles, and I don't think he was even there for Orgeron. I think he was there for Miles.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe Saban leaves, but you have Kiffin now, Saban, Brian Kelly, Mike Leach. I just think even pulled pork Pittman. I think it's just a much harder. I know that the SC West was down this year a little bit, but I just think
they had Mullen back then. It's been loaded for a long time, the SEC West, but it might be from a coaching standpoint more loaded than ever at this point.
Yeah,
probably is.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to watch, but I do think that was a good hire. Now we jump over to Madison, Wisconsin, where they hired Luke Fickell away from your boys, the Cincinnati Bearcats. I don't know if you're ready for my take on this one.
What do you think?
I don't like it. I don't think to me, I don't understand why Luke Fickell passed on Notre Dame and Michigan State. Michigan State's going to have a much larger NIL collective. And
I don't understand that either necessarily. But it kind of fits with Fickell's thing. It's like Wisconsin, from what I understand, what I read, the one of the headlines was, he's a believer in their brass. And obviously, who's the AD over there, or had been the AD for a long time? Their administration,
Alvarez.
Yeah, Alvarez. They've had a renowned athletic department for a long time, and he's a family guy, and that kind of makes sense, a little bit, for it to just be like a safe landing spot for him, where he'll be given time to build.
I think Jim Leonard makes more sense. I know you can say Fickell's proven more as a head coach, which he certainly has.
Yeah,
I just think you're paying more. I don't get the move from Fickell, and then let's call a spade here. Once USC and UCLA enter this conference, and it might even be Oregon and Washington, where would the pecking order of Wisconsin be? See, because I think Nebraska will have more from an NIL point of view, so I almost think Nebraska might have more potential than Wisconsin.
That ship is starting to sail in my mind.
Which one?
I'm starting to that Nebraska has more potential than Wisconsin.
I'm only speaking from an NIL perspective.
Okay,
an NIL
that's still probably true.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, Wisconsin's better from a location perspective, being so close to Chicago. I think the state's been growing.
They're
So
a football state. Not that Nebraska's not, but there's just a much larger population, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But so my question then I guess would be like, I just think where would they fall in the ranks of Big Ten jobs? Like obviously Ohio State and Michigan. Actually, I would tend to think USC might be right there after Ohio State or right there with Ohio State. And then
I'll give you this. I guarantee he wouldn't passed on Notre Dame before if they weren't going to the playoff last year. You know, he'd be at Notre Dame right now if that hadn't happened. So I don't think it's necessarily that he values Wisconsin and sees it as a better job than what he had, you know, at his fingertips last year. But the opportunity is certainly, or the situation's better to take a job at this point.
Yeah, I just wonder, like, where would you put him in the coaching ranks? Because, look, I mean, I obviously he's done a great job. I'm not trying to bag on Luke Fickell. I think he's a really good coach. But the AAC was down some of those years. I mean, Heupel wasn't as good at UCF. I mean, he was still good. But as Frost, and then you looked around, I would say, Tulsa? They played Tulsa with Phillip Montgomery, who got fired today or yesterday, which I still wonder why you would fire him.
Silly firing.
My point is there wasn't a lot of meat on the bone. I feel like even he had the Scotty Montgomery East Carolina years a lot.
Sure. I mean, Cincinnati is as close to a turnkey program at the Group of 5 level as you're going to get. You know, I mean, how many coaches succeeded pretty well there and parlayed that into a better gig? Was it Butch Jones, Brian Kelly? I don't know. I feel like there's at least one more. No.
They have 1 year. They have 1 year before the divisions are removed. So let me answer this. Okay, hold on. I got USC as a better job than Wisconsin, right? I have Ohio State as a better job than Wisconsin.
We also kind of might have passed on. We don't know, but he was heavily
athletic director. Yeah, Mike Cohn. Then so Ohio State, USC, Michigan. I think Michigan State's a better job than Wisconsin. I think Penn State's a better job than Wisconsin. I think USC and UCLA. Or sorry, I already said USC. UCLA's. I think. What would you put UCLA ahead of Wisconsin?
No, I wouldn't.
From a job in the future, like let's be honest, Wisconsin wouldn't have been in many Big Ten championships if it wasn't for them being in the West.
That's probably true. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Michigan was a little down. But Penn State was right there for most of those years. I guess Penn State was even down, and that's an anomaly because of the the troubles. But in a normal year, they're a full level lower than any of those three teams. And then you throw USC in the mix; they're never going to be on USC's level from a potential standpoint.
I mean, I would even think from a talent perspective. I know UCLA might not have the history, but it's not.
I feel like, I don't know, there's something, and as many times as coaches just haven't been able to, you would think, yes, they have the equal potential as USC, you know, all the same appeal, I guess, cachet from an overall athletics department standpoint, the glamour right there in LA, but they haven't been able to get it done. So I think I think it's like a Colorado situation like you experienced where they're just not that invested in the sport.
So let me ask you this then. Would you put Wisconsin ahead of Nebraska? Do you put it ahead of Minnesota?
Yeah, for now.
So although it's all of those back for you.
All of those are, you know, 1 10-year era of success for one team away from being, flip-flopped in my mind. You know, they're all right on the same page.
Serge, Wisconsin is a better job than Colorado, he says in the chat. Right now, 100%. I don't think we're arguing that.
Yeah. But in the 90s, was it? No, not at all.
Not at all. I mean, Wisconsin was a dumpster fire in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. I will say this: Wisconsin has a much better crowd than UCLA.
Yeah. Well, shit. I mean, if this was crowd based. Fuck, they'd be better than USC too, dude.
They'd be better than Michigan, right?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I get it. It's a great hire, like as far as like name, pizzazz, excitement around the program. I just wonder, you know, jumping from I actually had he stayed at Cincinnati, I had my doubts on how good they would be in the Big 12 next year. Right?
Sure. Of course. You know, they're going up, they're playing high level competition there. You've said it all year long. That's the best conference in college football. Can you do that week in, week out? They lost to Arkansas to start the year. That's I thought they were the better team, but I think you're right. 7-5 sounds about what we would expect of Cincinnati at that level. Maybe last year, the last couple of years, they would have been really good, like a TCU quality team. But like right where they are right now, that's a 7-5 team in the Big 12.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say, I don't think Luke Fickell's gonna be coaching at Wisconsin in 5 years.
He might not be. You know where he might be coaching?
Where's
Ohio
that?
State. And that may be why he's making the move he's making. Is he's seeing Ryan Day's heat up a little. He's saying, hey, let me position myself. I don't know that he would be any better positioned at Wisconsin than he is at Cincinnati, but he can certainly say I've proven it at the Big Ten level.
To me, he's got like a 1-year window because we have the Big Ten West next year. If he wins the Big Ten West, which he could totally do, like I would not be shocked at all if he won the Big Ten West and played for the Big Ten championship next year. After that, I don't think that shit's happening. I don't think they're going to be in Big Ten championships.
Let me push back on you. Well, yeah, I guess if Michigan and Ohio State and Penn State are all allowed to
and
USC, be two of the yeah, wow, yeah, you're right. They're
even UCLA. I mean, UCLA, I get it. Like their fan turnout and shit, but the talent around Los Angeles is substantially better than the talent around Wisconsin. Now, I'm sure USC and UCLA will have some problems traveling east in this stupid fucking conference. It makes no fucking sense, but I don't know. I just don't think they're ever going to sniff I personally, I don't think they're going to sniff the Big Ten championship once they get rid of the divisions. And I look, I hope I'm wrong because I like Wisconsin is an awesome state. Their fans are awesome.
Yeah.
I hope, I would love to see Minnesota, Purdue, Wisconsin, Iowa, all playing for Big Ten championships. I just think the reality is after next year, those days are fucking over. I think
you're probably right.
Yeah.
What would you think better coach, Matt Campbell or Luke Fickell?
I think Matt Campbell.
I think they're comparable. I think that's, it's hard to say. I think Matt Campbell at Cincinnati would probably have some damn good years. Luke Fickell did as well as anyone's ever done there. I think Luke Fickell has turned into a very good coach. I think basically you're getting the equivalent of a Mercedes coach maybe at that school. You're not getting a Lamborghini in Luke Fickell,
Matt Campbell had Iowa State in the Big 12 championship, 2 years ago?
Yeah, they're both very, very good coaches.
I mean, I think it's harder to do that in the Big 12 than, I get it. Cincinnati was in the CFP, but I think the
Cincinnati has a lot more talent than Iowa State.
He walked in the AAC when he walked in, other than UCF, they were the most talent-rich team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Like I said, I hope I'm wrong because Wisconsin's awesome, but I do think, and I say the same for Iowa fans. We love Kirk Ferentz here, and I think, he's done a great job in like 20 years there. But I also think the storm is coming with them getting rid of, divisions. Now you could still end up being in the playoffs essentially, maybe
to push back on you. I mean, I don't know that the Iowa probably makes less Big Ten championship games, especially with USC coming into town and, both Ohio State and Michigan being able to play for it. But sure, they have to play Ohio State and Michigan more often now, but they also get to play Maryland and Rutgers more often, and so as opposed to the SEC West.
No, but Rutgers is the same as Northwestern, right?
That's true.
I would say Maryland actually this year you don't. Maryland might win the Big Ten West this year, man.
That's true. If Purdue did it, Maryland could do it. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're probably right. What do you expect from Luke Fickell at Cincinnati, year in, year out?
At Cincinnati or at
Wisconsin, rather?
That's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, as much as I like him, and I hope I'm wrong.
8-4, 9-3.
No. Next year, I think they could win 9 or 10 games. But after that,
but once,
I don't even think 9-3.
7-5.
Yeah.
I give Luke Fickell at least 8-4.
Dude, you got to factor in the other coaches. Like let's talk Big Ten coaches then, because the chat's right. Brett Bielema is at Illinois, and he's stealing. I mean, he's gaining momentum at Illinois.
He is.
Where would you put Luke Fickell as far as right now? If you add in Chip Kelly and Lincoln Riley, which you have 16 teams, where would you have him in the coaching ranks?
That's a great question.
Is he better than PJ Fleck, you think? I don't know that he is.
I want to. I don't know, because
PJ Fleck went undefeated at Western Michigan.
That's true. It is true. He's gonna have his work cut out. I mean, if he wants to prove that he's an elite coach, he's going into a spot where he has the opportunity. If he can overcome, there's just a lot of parity, a lot of level 3 teams and coaches in the Big Ten, because obviously your level 1's Michigan, Ohio State, and USC moving forward.
You think he's a better coach than Jeff Brom?
Yeah, I do. I think he's proven more at this point.
See, I don't think so. I think if he was at Purdue, I don't think he ever would have gotten Purdue to the. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's to me, it's razor thin.
That's apples and oranges, though. Yeah, it's hard to say.
I don't know. I think 5 years from now we might be having another conversation. But I'll tell you this: if he can win next year, then he's afforded a few years. I think if he can get,
maybe he wins next year, right? He wins the Big Ten West next year, and Day loses again against Michigan in the Big House next year, which they're starting to think it's likely. Then
I would bet on that.
Then boom, a one and done in Wisconsin for Fickell, and a Big Ten championship would make him very appetizing? What's the word? Enticing for Ohio State.
Yeah. Now, okay. So, what would you, if you were to give that a letter grade, what would you give that one?
I give it like a B+. Give him what's out there. B.
If they had retained Jim Leonhard, what would you have given that?
I'd have given that like a B, just because maybe a B+ as well. I think I would have had it the same, if not more. I don't know. I just feel like Leonhard, you didn't give him a fair. I mean, yeah, I 100% agree with that.
The roster wasn't good.
Yeah,
you could put fucking Don Shula in 72 as your interim head coach. I don't think he's going to be able to win those games.
Right. I mean, all things considered, he had him almost tied for the conference lead at the end of the season after deflating coach fired midseason situation. I thought he did kind of well. Obviously not Barry Alvarez, but Brett Bielema well when the program was in its prime. But I think he was doing fine. They should have given him another try, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, I hope I'm right. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope Wisconsin's competing for Big Ten championships in Iowa and all. I just think those days are numbered.
Might be numbered. I mean, look at Nebraska. When you see it for what it is, it's like, hey, you guys have been riding way above your level for a long time, and maybe it's time for you guys to come down to earth. That it could be now, or maybe they know something we don't, and he actually is an elite coach.
All right, so let's move over to Lincoln, Nebraska, because you were just talking about him. Matt Rhule is the new head coach in Lincoln, Nebraska. He just hired away what's my guy's name? Not Scott Satterfield. Satterfield, the OC of South Carolina, taking the job, going over to Lincoln, essentially, with the Cornhuskers. I'm a bit shocked by both of these hires a little bit. Like the Fickell one, I was shocked because I thought, wow, why would he pass Notre Dame and Michigan State and go to me, like the clearly the worst one of the three? Yeah. And then the Matt Rhule one was interesting to me just because I think he's going to make Nebraska good.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll ever be great, if that makes sense.
I agree. It's tough to hate on what he's done in his previous stops. I mean, obviously he took over. I don't know that Baylor was in terrible condition before he took over. I don't think they were, but he had a rough first year, 1-11, 7-6, 11-3. If he stays another year at that pace, you're expecting a national championship out of them. Kind of a similar thing at Temple, 2-10, 6-6, 10-4, 10-3.
See, the Temple thing, though, I definitely think that he look, and he did a great job with Temple, but the AAC was incredibly down those years. Those were some of the Montgomery years. Those are some of the Tuberville days at Cincy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the AAC, even I think UCF, that was pre-Frost, I think that was George O'Leary. Wait, were they even in the AAC then? I gotta double check and see when Tulane was shit then. Tulane was
he was there 2013 to 2016.
Right? Herman was at Houston, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
So that was about, and Fuente was at Memphis. Okay. I mean, he did a great job. I mean, obviously Temple's Temple. It's like 12 people in the stands every week.
Yeah. And let's be honest about Baylor. Was it him that took him like a play away from a few yards away from the Big 12 championship game, or even
yeah, that was him. Yeah,
or the national championship rather, I think, or the playoff rather.
Yeah, let's say the playoff. I think. Yeah.
And then the other guy got walked down from behind by the Oklahoma defender. Yeah, I mean, he might actually be really good. I don't know what it is about him. I think there's just nothing that's super original. What's the word? Unique about his approach to the game. He prepares his teams well and they execute well. I think schematically he's pretty good, upper echelon. But in Nebraska, there's nothing about him that's from the state that suggests he's going to be able to dominate recruiting. And then at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, you're gonna be a better coach than a lot of the team coaches, or as good a coach as some of the teams you're playing. But if you don't have better talent, then you're gonna go 8-4. So that's, I think, where our idea comes from there.
And I even think, like, you go back and look at that 2019 Baylor season. Their out of conference schedule was fucking pathetic. They played Rice, UTSA, pre Jeff
Trailer,
yeah. And Stephen F. Austin, and then a 2-point win against Iowa State, a double overtime win by 3 against Texas Tech, a 3-point win against West Virginia, a triple overtime win against TCU. I don't know how good that team really was. You know what I mean? Like, he got there, credit to him.
They were good. They were plenty good, but they weren't national championship level, I don't think, but that was an impressive season for him, I think.
I agree. But, and I actually think Rhule is going to last longer than Fickell.
Wow. There it is. What's in a name, Does he rule? Is Fickell? Does he leave?
Hello. Yeah, I just think that we have a situation. I mean, I get it. Your life is in a fishbowl in Lincoln, Nebraska, but I just think if he can get to, they know they've been so bad. They the last team to make a bowl, or the biggest bowl drought of the Power Five is Nebraska.
Wow.
I think he'll get him back there. I wouldn't be surprised if he got him back there next year. Especially
at this point
that they got going.
Our projection of 9-3 every year or 8-4 would have gotten him fired 5-10 years ago. Now, if he gets bowling every year, they're going to put up a statue of him.
A parade, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, what do you think? If you had to grade the hires so far, as far as like first, second, and third of those three,
I would say, it was Fickell, Rhule, and
Freeze.
What was the other one?
Yeah,
and Freeze. I would say Freeze.
Actually, no. Let's do Arizona State's. Arizona State hired.
Dillingham,
dude. Yeah, this guy's like 28 years old. He's doing fucking Jaeger bombs this weekend. I guarantee you. I mean, I was a bit perplexed there. I did see his press conference, and I thought it was cool. It was cool. He seemed like he really loves Arizona State. I know he hired away Idaho State's head coach today in the FCS, who has Arizona high school coaching ties.
Yeah. There you go.
That one's the most perplexing to me, though. I get it. He's from ASU. Maybe, yeah. and to me, that one's the biggest mystery to me, as far as like, I could be really wrong by saying. We
don't know much about the guy. He's 10 years old.
Yeah.
But number 3 offense in the country this year. It's tough to argue with that.
Hold on. Grade Rhule at Nebraska.
B.
Yeah, I agree. Grade. Now let's go to Dillingham at ASU.
I mean, off the cuff, it's like a D, if not an F, But I don't know. I mean, you hire a guy. The guys on Cover 3 made a pretty good point about him being young, where they have hired a bunch of old coaches before.
Dennis Erickson. Yeah.
Obviously, Herm Edwards. So it's like, that's at least a change of pace. Maybe you energize that program and maybe that could be why they've just underperformed, is they've just made bad hires. Yeah, disconnect with that. I mean, those guys are definitely disconnected with the culture of ASU.
No Devils. Maybe you get a coach that actually knows what the fuck the Sun Devil knows what your mascot is.
Give me that clip. You got that one down?
I do have that one here. Hang on. I got that right. Where are we at here?
Rubino, Devil's Digest.
Devil's Digest, huh?
Yes, sir.
Where you located, my man?
Right here in Tempe.
Okay, Devil's Digest. Okay. I'm Catholic now. I'm a Christian. Watch out, them devils.
Like you're coaching for them, you fucking idiot. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's something to that. Maybe he's got a high-powered offense. If you can make Bo Nix look good, then maybe you do deserve some credit.
All right, now, so I mean, I think this is the one I could be wrong about most because there's so much unknown about it. I think it's a bad hire just off of the the age, the resume.
Yeah.
But he is an ASU guy, and I know I could be really wrong on this projection because I think it's unproven, it's unknown. I didn't know about Dabo Sweeney. Look how that worked out. But if you had to rank all four, then the best would be what? I think Freeze.
I'll give Dillingham a C minus. C minus on Dillingham.
Yeah, I'll even go C just because it's unknown to me.
Okay.
Ranking the four to me, I go Freeze 1.
Yep.
Rhule 2, Fickell 3, Dillingham 4. You?
I think you're looking at Fickell from why did Fickell take the job? I think if you're looking at who is Wisconsin going to get, I think they did pretty darn well to get Fickell. So I think I put Fickell 2, Rhule 3, and then Dillingham 4.
See, I think Jim Leonard might give them a better future than Fickell.
Tough to say. I mean,
time
will tell.
So, I mean, I don't know. You fired Paul Chryst. He won like 10 games every fucking year.
That's true.
I don't know, but all right. Before we get out of here, I want to talk about. So where does everyone go? Where does everyone go? Obviously, the transfer portal, December 5th. That's a big day. I think a lot of coaches want to be named before then. We'll find out.
Is that when it the signing day opens up?
Yeah, it's gonna be bonkers.
The signing period.
Yeah, it's gonna be bonkers. Wow. There's talk that Willie Fritz could be Georgia Tech's next head coach. Would that one be a home run hit for the Yellow Jackets?
I need to look at Willie Fritz's history a little more. Obviously, what he's done in the past year or two has been nice, but I'd like to see a longer track record of high-level achievements. I want to get this pulled up. But I feel like this is by far his best coaching job this year. He had some great years at Sam Houston State. You know,
dude, that dude's a fucking winner, man.
Lost 2 national championships in a row there. Yeah, he is a winner. But has he done it at the FBS level? This was his first season, and he's been there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons. His highest win total prior to this was 7-6. So then he pops off at 10-2. He's definitely parlaying this season into a nice payday if he does get the gig. But looking at his team this year, they look awesome. It's just, can he do this every year? I don't know. I'm giving it like a B minus. B? No, I'll give it a B.
If that happens, we don't know that that's a done deal. Yeah. GBO Farms is saying they'll have fun with her in Atlanta.
Have fun with what? Oh, Willie Fritz's slamming hot daughter. Oh yeah. Oh, she'll be at the strip. She'll be working the strip club.
All right. Just a few other things here. Okay. Tulsa fires Phillip Montgomery. Mm-hmm. I was a bit baffled at this one. I mean,
yeah. I mean, let me look at his.
How many years are you removed from the AAC championship? 2?
That's true. And getting screwed over by Cincinnati.
The smallest enrollment in college football, in FBS college football.
Yeah. I'm going to pull up some of their previous seasons and see what a good expectation is. I mean, prior to Phillip Montgomery, they had he's had 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons bowling. I guess Todd Graham had them rolling pretty good there prior to
maybe they go back to the well.
Actually, no. Oh no, Bill Blankenship had a few. Man, that would be funny if they went and got Todd Graham. That'd be a good fit. I don't know why that would be a good fit, but it could.
I don't know, and I was a bit surprised at that one. I thought he would at least get until next year. Willie Taggart's fired at Florida State, Patty C. Your thoughts?
Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And Florida State, he was fired.
Hey, who just hired him as the OC for next year? Was it Miami?
I heard speculation that they might hire him as. I don't know that that's a done deal. I don't know that that's. I know he's, but
friggin' hilarious. But they will be the recruiting machine of South Florida if he goes to Miami. Him and Cristobal together. No coaching chops, but they can recruit the hell out of that place. Now, what do we think about that firing at Florida Atlantic?
Yeah, were you surprised or no?
Not really. I mean, they've been like one of the highest recruiting teams in that conference, if not the highest, for years on end. He's underperformed for sure.
Yeah, Tim Lester was fired at Western Michigan. God, former Bronco quarterback there. Marcus Arroyo fired at UNLV.
Opens the door. There's a program that
only gave him 3 years.
What is UNLV? A sleeping normal person? A sleeping Power 5? There's not a sleeping giant. You can't call him that. But obviously, being in Las Vegas, there's a lot of I think there's good football being played at the high school level in Las Vegas. Bishop Gorman, they're churning out some guys.
You're a 3.5 hour, 4 hour drive from LA, dude.
From LA too.
You got San Diego everyone wants to go to Vegas. Shit, I bet you could recruit like Miami and be like, yeah, come to Vegas. All right.
Yeah, it's true.
And
playing the Death Star.
They should have got Hugh Freeze because prostitution is legal there. Would have all
That's right,
out.
Man. It wouldn't have been an issue at all.
I know people were surprised with Arroyo. I do think they gave him a little bit too short of a leash because COVID and everything, and then 3 years. I would have gave him another year. However, I don't think he was going to be the guy to rebuild that job, even though they won 5 games this year.
They improved. They got a little better under his watch, but I mean, maybe that's what they needed. Some programs, as a UVA fan, I can say I was super stoked to get Mendenhall and have him get us up. He outperformed my expectations. I was thinking he'd be like a 7-5 guy. He got us up to 8-4, and it's like, okay,
yeah,
that's great.
And speaking of Mendenhall, he might be the next head coach at Stanford. David Shaw is out. He resigns. He says, fuck you, Stanford, with your non-transfer portal. You got no one coming in. You got no one. You got no grad school. I mean, none of the football players can get into grad school. So anyone that graduates dips out. How do you see? Were you surprised at that one?
Yeah, I guess a little surprised, but I shouldn't have been. I mean, Stanford as a program put me to sleep over the past couple years. I completely just stopped paying attention to them. They had no pulse. Unless something happened, as a guy who probably wouldn't stand for that, David Shaw probably said, I got to get out of here. It's not happening. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean it's his fault. The cards are, like you said, stacked pretty far against them. So, but nothing was happening at Stanford. I don't even know what they're going to do to get back on the winning side of things there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Let's forecast this now. Oh, by the way, Jake Spavital out at Texas State. Gone. Get out of here. And I still think there's potential that Mac Brown could retire or, Ferentz could retire. So I still think we might get
we're just getting started. We are just getting started here.
I feel like I saw Memphis double down on Silverfield, though.
Wow.
He's back next year, according to some reports.
Well, you know what? I mean, the first dominoes have fallen from the firing, and maybe most of them, but the first domino of a coach leaving for a new job hasn't even fallen yet, or has barely fallen. So that's going to start a whole new round of this.
Is Deion Sanders the next head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes?
Man, I saw someone right before the podcast saying they're hearing pretty loud whispers that that's a real possibility.
Well, and in Colorado, I think they said they wouldn't announce their coach till the day after the Celebration Bowl.
Okay. Respect there.
That would be that. I mean, no, my point.
I mean, that would indicate obviously that it's.
I mean, that could just be a coincidence, or. But
wait, they said that specifically. Colorado's administration said?
No, I mean, I heard Colorado beat writers were saying. I hear that the
announcement's not coming till after the Celebration Bowl.
That's what. Well, that's what I saw. Yeah, it's on Twitter.
Indicates they strongly think it'll be prime time.
Yeah. All right. So. if Deion goes to Colorado, who does Stanford?
Fuente to Tulsa says GBF.
Yeah, I heard about that. I read someone's column saying Justin Fuente to Tulsa, or I think Texas State might even take a shot at him.
Sure,
that's going to be interesting to watch. What are your Bearcats going to do, buddy?
They better get Urban Meyer. They better go get Urban Meyer, please.
Dude, this is what I'm saying. Okay, the SEC and Big Ten have separated from everything else. It seems like for the future, at least for the power brands of college football. Even though I think the Big 12 is the best conference in college football this year. You want to know how to steal some TV ratings?
Yeah.
Get Urban Meyer to Cincinnati and have them really fucking good, which I think he would do.
Yeah, while the Bengals are coming up as a program too, all of a sudden Cincinnati's a pretty hip city for elite football.
And then you get Deion to Colorado.
Oh yeah, both the Pac-12 and the
TV ratings. I guarantee you, Colorado Buffalo's TV ratings would be pretty fucking good.
Oh yeah.
And since all this is based on TV ratings, apparently.
Yeah, let alone if he can actually win some games there. But yeah, I think if you're the Big 12 and you're Cincinnati and you're able to get a guy like Urban Meyer, it's like, dude, you are now Cincinnati becomes the premier program from a cachet or like a TV rating standpoint in the Big 12. And then you're starting to maybe steal recruits from Ohio State finally if Day continues to slip against Harbaugh, then it's like Cincy becomes that team in Ohio. And if you're that team in Ohio, you're a perennial national championship contender. If they can get Urban Meyer, they better open up. They better fire every other coach in every other program and pick people off the streets to free up enough money to hire Urban Meyer. It'll be worth it in the end.
Yeah. Chris Peterson to Stanford, do you think that happens?
I would love it. It fits so well. I don't know if he's behind the booth for the rest of his life or not, but that would be amazing.
Mendenhall to Stanford? I can see it. I can see it. Serge is hilarious. Colby, what grade do you give it? Patty CB. Oh, yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, I kind of do on all these. I kind of, actually, he gave Dillingham an F originally, but then he fixed it to a C-. I gave it a C, baby. All right?
Colby feeling generous.
If Deion goes to Colorado, what would you give that grade?
I think you give that an A. I think, it's a risk. It's a high risk, high reward situation. In the same vein as Marcus Freeman. And I think Freeman has proven more as a coach than Primetime had, but it's like you got this pretty hip, and showing great potential as a coach figure here. Yeah. He's going to be able to recruit. Take your chance, man. If you get that super home run swing, that ball comes across your plate, take that swing at it,
I saw also speculation that Matt Campbell, Cincinnati, you think he would take that? He's an Ohio guy, Mountain Union guy.
Matt Campbell, yeah. No, he might. Yeah, he might. That might be time for him to change it up.
That'd be interesting. What
That'd
else?
Be a good hire.
What do we?
Tom Herman at Cincy is another name that's been thrown around. I know you were throwing that one around. I like it. I think you do a good job there.
No, here's what I want. I want Deion to Colorado.
Yeah.
I want Mendenhall or Peterson. Actually, I want Peterson to Stanford. Yeah. Craig Bowl, I have a feeling, will probably retire at any point. We want Bronco Mendenhall at Wyoming.
Yeah.
Right?
Amazing.
Since Arizona State dropped the ball here. Then I want Cincinnati to get Urban Meyer, right? Georgia Tech to get who?
Chadwell? They should get Chadwell. They could get Mullen.
I hear Chadwell might go to South Florida.
Talk about completely. Is that even a lateral move or is that just a downward move at this point?
I think, everyone's factoring in. It's like all this shit. It's like why I told you Deion at Colorado could work is that they're going to have an automatic bid. And with USC and UCLA leaving, yes, of course you would have Utah and Oregon and Washington ahead of them right now.
Yeah. You are definitely opening the floodgates for recruiting to a lot and for the transfer portal to a lot of players.
Well, the same with the group of five. Remember,
for the whole group of five. That's what I mean.
No, what I'm saying, UCF is leaving, Houston's leaving, Cincy's leaving. So who's going to get that automatic bid? It could be. I know East Carolina is the best program in the country, but
that's true.
ECU
There's
has
still only five 5 Power 5 conferences,
Yeah.
and if they're talking about 6 auto bids
That's
from
what I'm
conference
saying.
champions, yeah.
There we
Good
go.
point.
There we go.
Good point.
Texas State, Gary Patterson. Hire Gary Patterson. I know they're talking about going with some young gun. Go, Gary Patterson. Let's
Have
get
a
him
little
back
fun.
in the game. Let's get him back in the game. And,
That's right.
what? Any other things before we get out of here do you want to see?
Anything that really stands out that'd be really fun.
John Gruden to Florida Atlantic.
John Gruden to Florida Atlantic, or John Gruden to UNLV. Put him in the depth. Yeah.
Love the UNLV angle. Put him in the same stadium.
Yeah.
Love it.
Walking by Mark Davis every day, just like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Although I still say, yeah, that's great. That would be great. And then I still say Bobby Petrino to UNLV would be amazing.
Amazing. Always
Let's
fun.
do it. Let's make that happen. Let's really make it happen. Yeah, and Jeff Traylor still at UTSA. You got to think UTSA would have, like we're just talking about, if someone's going to get the Group of 5 bid in the FCS in the 12 team, programs like Boise State and Fresno State and San Diego State and UTSA and
UTSA positioning themselves,
Memphis. Then all of a sudden you might have something going. It's going to be interesting to watch. Obviously, by the way,
that's essentially what happened when you open the door for TCU. Now they're better than Texas as a program.
Yeah. And the transfer portal is already starting to go batshit crazy. We're probably gonna have to do an episode on that one too, folks. Stay tuned. Obviously, by the time this podcast comes out in like 20 minutes, when I put it up, there will probably be another coach hiring or firing or something. But stay tuned. I cannot wait to watch more college football. We got a picks preview and picks episode coming out Wednesday. Shout out to Akron and Buffalo adding a Friday morning game. Love it. Hey, more schools. Why not just say fuck it and just add another game? Come on. I know New Mexico State's trying to. Shout out to Jerry Kill. I think they might get themselves to a bowl.
By the way, did you see that defensive celebration that the Steelers guy did earlier in this game when he batted down the pass? Instead of doing the old
Northwestern Pitt game on here.
Okay, there you go.
What happened? You got a penalty on it?
Instead of doing the whatever, talk shit or like wave your arms incomplete, he just gives him the thumbs down after he bats the ball down. I fucking love it. That needs to be the standard celebration for a breakup.
Love it. All right, folks. Well, until what, Wednesday? Actually, maybe I'll do a database top 25 episode tomorrow. Till tomorrow on the College Football Experience. You better start thinking about yours. Check out, please get over to iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. Our win totals, I'll put them up against any other platforms. All right, I was looking at them earlier today.
Throw that dick in the air.
Oh man, bring on the other platforms. That's all I'll say. Subscribe to the College Football Experience, and we're on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Patty C's on Twitter at PattyC831. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. Give us all a follow. Give us a 5-star review. Come on. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Check out the College Basketball Experience, which every single night I'm doing episodes with Moneyline Mac, a.k.a. Ryan McIntyre. So I got to go do that episode now. All right.
The grind don't stop.
It just don't stop. All right. It just doesn't stop. No devils here. All right, folks. This is the College Football Experience Coaching Carousel. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.
Thank you. Well, this is a great way to get started, and I haven't even won all my games yet. It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family. What the fuck did I do wrong, Tom?
Because when you're in East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart.
Team speed, for Christ's sake.
The Redskins want a new stadium. The owner, Jack Kent, and he wants it indoor. I heard an indoor stadium. The Redskins cannot play indoors. I mean, how can you see fun? How can this guy play indoors? Oh, these guys agree with me. No fake record.